back. I'm Statue Fanatic here with my next review. This is of a piece that I did not even know existed a month ago. I happened to be surfing the web, going through the forums, looking at Red Titan's forum, and somebody posted a picture of this thing, and the picture itself caught my attention instantly. I saw this statue with this unbelievable wingspan on it. Of course, that was the most impressive thing about it when I saw the picture. So I think somebody in the forums was asking whether or not it ever got produced or whatever the case may be. And so, of course, I got on the internet, checked YouTube, was able to find a few videos on it. The videos that I found were not in English, which is my first language, so I couldn't understand what they were saying. There was a couple unboxing, and there was one video that was in English that was done in natural lighting that showed off some of the detail, and I'm actually going to put a link to that person's video in this video because he does a really good job showing off the details of this statue. This statue was designed by a 3D artist by the name of Nefzen, I think is how you pronounce it. And Caleb, if I pronounce your name wrong, please forgive me. So it was also produced or distributed by a company in Japan called Gentaku. Some of my reading, and I'm not sure how accurate this is, but this is also a company that actually does some of the work for some of the big studios as well. Not sure if that's not correct, please correct me. Caleb has also worked for some of the big guys like XM, and I think Caleb is the artist behind the 3D renderings that we have seen of Carnage that XM is planning to release in the near future. He's also worked with PCS and 3.0, so he's a very established artist, and then I checked out his website. He has some amazing 3D artwork on his website. This statue has an edition size of 600. It also was featured at in a booth at San Diego Comic-Con in 2016. So he's been trying for what I understand 3 to 4 years to get this statue to us. And I am very appreciative that I was able to acquire one of these statues. A lot of the sites are sold out, but where I got it from at Secrectcompass was still in stock and actually offered free shipping. So thank you for that, Secrectcompass, because shipping can be a monster with statues this size. So let's get started with the review. This is a very, very impressive piece. Of course, let's get straight to the one thing that stands out more than anything, and that's the wingspan. I decided to do this video a little bit different and stand up and everything so you can kind of compare my size to the size of the statue. I'm 6 foot tall, pretty long arm reach here. From the wing itself is 43 inches long, and if you go out to the battle axe itself, that's 50 inches. The width of the statue is quite impressive there. One of the things that impressed me most about this statue was that, because that had to take a lot of design, engineering, to be able to get this statue to balance properly, to stand properly, and it does all of that. There's no wobbling on the statue, there's none of that. The statue is absolutely solid. I was scared putting the wing on his back because this big magnet, this big thing that it goes in, and it slides right in there, no problem whatsoever. Very, very impressive engineering on the statue. This pose, what's happening in this scene is just absolutely fantastic. So you've got a complete reimagining of Batman. He's a Viking. Caleb sort of did what XM did with Samurai Batman, just reimagined Batman, gave him a different look, a different lore about him, and this is absolutely fantastic. I love the imagination here. Batman, Viking, a different time, a different era, different weapons, different fighting, all of those things in here, but some of the classic things that are still there, like his batarang, and some of the other things, his tool belt. He still has this, even though it's in this era, he still has a tool belt, utility belt with all of the gadgets and tricks on it. And so he is Batman trekking through the snow. I mean, there's arrows coming at him. It is an incredible action scene. He's taken some serious fire. If you look at the arrows have actually pierced his skin. He's been actually pierced in the chest, in the legs, both of his legs. There's arrows that have missed in the snow, arrows that have hit his shield, arrows that have hit his shield, one that has been broken after hitting his shield. But we'll get to all of that in a minute, but let's just kind of like go in order, I guess. Let's start with the sculpt itself. Like I said, the stance of this, the sculpt, everything, I love it. I love the wingspan. I love the stance that he's in. I love the battle readiness that he's in. I love the fierceness that's on his face. It's just really amazing. The entire statue is not completely sculpted. There is some mixed media on here, around his legs and around his shoulder. There's a pelt from an animal of some kind with fur to keep him warm based on the climate that he's in. As far as the wings themselves, sculpted, his body is sculpted. There is some PVC on here. I don't know how you could make this statue at a reasonable cost with so many details without having some material like that in there. But even though there's some PVC on the statue, it's painted so well and shaded so well until it looks metal in places that it should look metal. It looks leather in places that it should look leather. Just an amazing piece of work and sculpt here. So the portrait itself there's 3 portraits. I happen to be a big fan of the human head, but there's also 2 other portraits. There's also 2 other portraits that come with this statue. There's this guy here. You can see the detail in it. Still an amazing portrait. Pretty cool. Not a big fan of it. It has this bat look to it, the ears and everything. You can see all of that in the detail. Maybe it's some type of helmet or something. Still really cool sculpt there. And then the last one, again, sort of the bat theme going there, looking at the ears, you can see that. Lots of detail in this sculpt as well, in this portrait as well. But me, I am a real fan of the human head. It's just one of the biggest reasons that I love this so much is checking out the eyes on this statue. They are so realistic looking. The grimace on his face just shows the pain and the agony that he's in this battle. It's just a really, really great portrait. The teeth, the blood that's coming out of his mouth that's painted, just fantastic all around. So that's the portrait of it. Now going down to the torso of the statue, lots of things going on here. There's a chain here that's actually metal that's going across as far as I can tell. Maybe it's not, but it feels like it is. Metal chain there. There is this bat symbol, this bat armor right here. It looks like it's copper, but there's so much detail throughout this particular thing. We talked about the arrows earlier. This particular arrow is of interest in that it is so cool that this arrow actually has flesh that has been drilled out of him that is stuck to the arrow itself from the impact of hitting him. Pretty cool detail there. Going down to the midsection here, like I mentioned, his belt and everything. There's some more bat rings here. And again, he has an entire utility belt similar to modern day Batman, but of course he is a Viking, so his tool belt and his tools will be quite different during this era. Again, going down to his leg, the arrows that have penetrated his leg, again, open wounds that you can see the blood, he's bleeding, there's blood actually dropping on the base there. Again, he has the fur, like I mentioned here, behind his legs to keep him warm, the mixed media. Around the gauntlets on his arm, the gauntlets also are being held together by leather ropes that have been tied around to hold the protective gauntlets in place. He also have gloves on that also to protect his hand, and you can see lots of detail in the gloves that he's wearing with these sharp bat-like claws on them, if you will. The battle axe that he's holding is pretty nifty and pretty cool. It also has tons of detail in it, as you can see throughout the axe. Detail from the tip of the axe to the head of the axe. And what's really neat and cool about this axe is that the bottom of the battle axe is actually shaped in the form of a bat. Pretty cool detail there. So taking a look at his shield, tons of detail in the shield. Shield is just absolutely amazing. Both the front and the back of the shield sculpted with tons of detail. In his hand right here, his left hand, he's holding another bat ring. That is pretty awesome stuff there. On each of his side here, he has these 2 utility long cloth type things on the side of that, and I'm pretty sure there's a name for it and I can't think of it right now, but again, sculpted really well. You can see the images in the close-ups. Fantastic job there. You can see where his foot at the very end here is actually buried in the snow from walking through the snow. The same thing here. The wind blowing the snow back from the base here. You can see these snow drifts being blown up. So this must be a really powerful snowstorm that he's going through. The paint app on the statue is just immaculate. You go to the wounds, the blood that's spilling over. There is not one piece on this statue that is a solid color of anything. There is shading, multiple paint colors, multiple paint applications, multiple different things happening, all to give it this dimension and this battered, worn battle look. And it looks fantastic. When you look around his lips, his eyes, all those things, they just did such a fantastic job painting the statue. There's just no sloppy work whatsoever, even looking really close at like the belt and all of this. It's almost like these were separate pieces that were painted, but they're all sculpted, it looks like. Fantastic job. Look at the details on the loincloth. I mean, I'm just impressed. Just super, 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 super impressed. There's these markings on the sides. I don't know what they mean. I wish I did. If somebody knows what they mean, please post that or something, because I'd love to know what they mean. So Caleb, fantastic job. Kudos to you for all the work that you did on this statue and getting it to us. I am definitely going to keep this one. This is not something that I plan to get rid of. I love it. The quality of it is just outstanding when it comes to that. I would put this on par with any of those studios. Sideshow has, any piece that Sideshow would produce of this quality. The same thing with XM. It's just a really outstanding piece. It's definitely worth picking up if you're a huge Batman fan, and it's still available. So fantastic piece. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, peace. Take care.